And a good evening. Welcome out to the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center, the campus of Lamar University. Cardinals coming off that 23-21 win over UTRGV, homecoming 2025 on a school record-tying 57-yard field goal by Ben Woodard. I know he doesn't like the attention, but there he is right there.
Yeah, he's right on
There's
the
our
patio.
guy right there who kicked that winning field goal.
No, he likes the attention.
He loves the attention.
He loves it. He loves
Good job.
it.
By the way, he had kicked a 53-yarder earlier in the game. First field goal, a chip shot, 30 yards. Then he goes 53.
Yeah.
Talk about the decision, and you kind of talked about this Monday a little bit on your weekly press conference on campus. Just talk a little about your decision on where you wanted the ball. Where was that line where you knew he would split the uprights?
Well, I went to Mike Johnson, our specialist coach, and I said, hey, I need yard lines because the wind was fairly significant in each direction. I said, I need yard lines going towards the Montaigne Center or towards the Dolphin Center. And then he said 43-yard line going towards the Montaigne Center. And then I think he said 36 going towards the DAC. So we made the decision that we were in field goal range when we got to the 40, and we were a little bit more conservative with our play calling since he had already drilled a 52-yarder and gave us a lot of confidence that was truly.
But don't shortchange him. 53.
53, correct. Yeah. Sorry.
You'll take every yard you can get on that. But I mean, just an amazing game.
Yeah.
The crowd, hair under 9,000. We're going to get that 10,000 out there, but just homecoming, just everything worked out great at the end.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the Cardinal walking through the, the tailgaters and the band, and, it was fun going to see the Silver Bullet gang over there.
Yeah.
They're back. They're always here.
They had some good fajita meat.
They did.
I worked my way over there for that, There's two words I like: free food.
Yeah, it always smells great when you're walking by. So, but I don't eat well on game day. So. Yeah,
again, the Cardinals get that win with the 23-21 victory. And by the way, I don't know if I said at the beginning, Ben is the National Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yeah, how about that? That's pretty awesome.
The second one we've had in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Fusilier a couple of weeks ago, and now Ben. And I tell you what, now 15th in the FCF stat polls. Just a remarkable season at this point.
I mean, so far, but we got a long way to go,
do.
and obviously got a big game up in Natchitoches this weekend, and in the rain. So we're gonna have to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's as we get close.
Now, how do you prepare for that? I mean, you can't prepare for Mother Nature, but the weather's not going to be good. We've already known that. So how do you prep this week, getting ready for weather conditions?
I mean, you always prep for it in preseason camp, and you get ready with wet ball drills and things of that nature. But it's just so hard to mimic what you're going to see out there from an actual rainfall standpoint. So, we do our best, and most importantly, we get a lot of center quarterback exchanges, a lot of handoff stuff, and we do make sure that we have the right game plan if it does happen to get to that type of environment. So make sure you got enough plays in there for that type of environment.
Cardinals actually led that game 17-0. You started it off at the 7-minute mark of the first quarter, a 58-yard pass from Aiden to Blake.
Yeah.
And that was right in there again, like we'd seen the week before.
Yeah, he's making some big plays for us, Blake, and he's very, very natural, as you saw, catching the football in difficult situations. And he had a carry and running the football. He had a bunch of catches. He's going to be a really special player. He's working towards that right now. He's still a freshman, so he makes some mistakes. But man, he's way ahead of the curve right now as far as how freshmen go.
And helping to continue a drive, a big catch by Devin, and your big tight end comes in. He actually got separation, made the catch on the near sideline, and
two of them actually.
Yeah.
He had 2 catches on that drive to keep the drive alive and give us the opportunity to get in field goal range.
Overall, just on the offense, I thought your line did all right, but they're doing a better job week by week.
We did okay. I didn't think we played our best football on offense. We played great in the first half. Obviously, had I think 283 yards in the first half, and then sputtered a little bit in the second half. We couldn't seem to get much going overall from length of drive. No big plays. First half we had 5 big plays. Second half we had 1, and that was on a run by Aiden McCown. So, we sputtered a little bit on offense. But the good news is our defense played awesome.
It did.
And continued to play. Has continued to play good. We wish we had another chance at that. When they got the turnover on the 4-yard line, and our defense held them to 3rd down and 6, and had an opportunity to get off the field with a field goal. And we would have liked to have that one back, I know, but our guys really played hard. They played well. Our defense is really starting to come together and play much better. But they still got a long way to go, and those guys are working at it right now as we speak.
You look at 2 of the touchdowns. It's all part of the game with short fields. You mentioned the fumble inside the 10, and then you also had a special teams punt fumble.
Yeah.
So your defense, they worked hard, but 2 of their drives were short fields, and that's just part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you talk about real drives, it was 1, and they gave up. But they did give it up, and they didn't play well on that drive. But for the most part, they played great, and proud of those guys.
You go into the locker room at halftime with the lead, and what do you talk about at halftime? You got a 20-7 lead, I believe it was at half. I
mean, I think we go in and, anytime you go in and you look at the play sheet, you make sure you got the right calls up for the second half. You see how they're playing you. Everybody plays us a little bit different. So, we see how they're playing us, and we go out there in the second half and see if we can execute. And same thing on defense. We go through what they ran against you, what they were successful, what they might have, what we say, starred on their game plan is something they'll come back to and make sure we have answers for it coming out in the second half.
Cardinals win it again, 23-21 over UTRGV. We'll talk about defense, more look at the defensive game from this past Saturday when we return on News Talk 560 KLVI, the Pete Rossomando Show. We're talking Cardinal football. News Talk 560 KLVI, back out at the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center. You didn't like the music?
No, I like the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like the music. No.
I thought you told me to turn it down.
No, I didn't. I was just going like this. There was a bug on there.
Oh, okay. I said, hey, turn that music down. The Cardinals just defensively, just talk about the defensive performance for the Cards.
Great, held them under 200 yards of total offense. I think we had 5 sacks in the game. Probably should have had 9. Had a couple opportunities to get them down, and obviously had the interception at the end by Lamar Evans. And it was just great. I think they played really well for the most part, except for that one drive where I think we had a lot of miscues, but very limited missed tackles in the game. I thought our guys flew around and really played sideline to sideline, and that was good to see. And then our big guys all stepped up and played very well, and Christian Pugh and Braden Faulkner and those other guys that I know. Christian Booker played well.
He did.
And Keytron Simpson had a sack, and he had, I think, 7 or 8 tackles. So I think those guys played good.
You might have just brought him up as I was looking at some notes here. CJ has been doing a great job week by week as well.
Yeah, CJ played well. Actually, the last couple of weeks he's played really well. I think he's starting to come into his own, feel comfortable in the defense, understanding where he's supposed to be, and just really, really fun to watch him go out there. He's a physical player, man. He really brings the wood when he hits you.
Off the field, you've got a bunch of great guys. You really do. Matter of fact, every Monday you have your weekly press conference with the media to talk about the previous game. We had a special visitor. Come in. Paul comes in there, and he sits down, and he decides that he's going to be the guest on the weekly press conference.
Yeah.
And
he talked about NBA Youngboy's birthday.
Yeah. And we all learned what NBA stands for. Paul educated on that. Never broke again. And he had the T-shirt celebrating the rapper NBA's birthday. But him and Christian were in there, and they're having fun.
Yeah, they're personal.
This team is having fun right now, and Paul brought out a pretty good personality. And what was fun about it, we're just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
You walk around the corner, and he starts spitting out words like he's conducted a press conference, and you just kind of look over like, what is he doing?
Well, he wants to be our general manager. That's what he told me. He's gonna be the guy that's part football coach, part football player, part general manager for us. Help us, fill out the roster, get through the transfer portal. He's Paul's one of a kind for sure.
And that's what it takes about this team. You've talked about in the past on how well this team, gets along on the field and then off the field. That is so important. These guys have a lot of fun off the field as well.
It is important. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of guys that have been around a while. I mean, you look at Ben, who's been here 3 years, and a lot of our guys, Devin Gibbs has been here like 10 years or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, his grandkids are coming to the game.
I mean, Rob's been here 3 years, and I mean, you got a lot of guys that have been on the. Isaiah Jones has been here 4 years, and Kendon's been here 4 years, and Major's been here 4 years. And you got a lot of guys that have been around, Faulkner and, Peyton Christian, and all those guys been here a long time. And I think you develop a relationship and at least a mutual respect for each other. I think that's obviously what's most important. And you've got to bring in the right transfers that don't ruin that. If you're bringing too many transfers, that guys that don't believe in what you're doing culture-wise, it could ruin that pretty quick if they're not playing, especially.
What I like saying about Isaiah, when he's out there, I say it every time, Isaiah with a Z.
Yeah, Isaiah with a Z. Yeah.
And let's just talk about that a little bit. I think your running back room deep, your receiving core deep, and that's a good problem.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys that can play, and that's always good. And hopefully, you hope that you can get 3 or 4 receivers that want to go out there and compete each week and really go crazy. And then you got a couple backups that aren't afraid to jump in there and take some reps. And then the same thing at running back. You want 1 or 2 guys that want the majority of the reps, and then you want the other guys being able to support them and be ready to go when it's their turn.
We talked about offense. We talked about defense. Special teams says itself. You've got the National Special Teams Player of the Week. You get the winning field goal from 57. But, Ben just does a great job out there for you. But let's talk about overall. On a field goal, you got the snap, you got the hold, you got the kick. And you got the blockers. I mean, there's so much involved with that.
Well, our operation time, I said between the snap, hold to kick was in the 1.2s, and that's pretty elite. I think that is as good as. I don't think if you didn't block a guy off the edge, he wouldn't be able to block it. That's how fast they got it out. And credit to those guys, Jacob Hefner and Mason Stallings and Ben. Those guys work hard together. You guys think they just go out there and just kick, I mean, they're out there working, every single day on little things to make sure things are right, making sure things get, where the ball is placed, how it's placed, what's the tilt. I mean, all that stuff is, Hefner's working on where he's holding the ball so that the holder gets the laces out when he catches it. I mean, those guys are working at all those things that make it important for special teams to be successful. And Ben kicking and Mason punting and Ty punting, and those guys all working at those things. When we're out doing practice, when they're not in the situation, they're working just like any other position group on getting that right. So it was elite, for sure. And for a long 57-yarder, it was extra elite because you got to get it off and you got to get it up in the air because those guys are coming to, put their hands up thinking it's going to be a low driving kick. So they did a really good job.
Let's talk about your kickoff unit and your kick return unit. For the most part, on the kickoffs, it's a touchback for the most part. But just talk about how much preparation goes in a kickoff and a kickoff return during the week.
I mean, a lot. A lot of meeting time, a lot of on-field practice time. Mondays are that's our skills day where we go out and work skills for all those special teams, and then each day throughout the course of the week has their own special teams in that core of practice where they get out and they work the actual unit, together. And really, really important that those guys get those opportunities to do that. And then I don't think our kickoff return, we did have the miscue where we stepped out of bounds at the 5. And, that puts a damper on a really good day. And, we could have had a really good day, an elite day. And I think our kickoff team had an elite day. They stopped them on the 5-1. They pinned them inside the 21s. I think really did a great job. That kickoff team is not only Ben kicking the ball, but those guys running down the field and making tackles inside of 20 is pretty amazing.
They got a little sway to them before the kickoff too. They start swinging
yeah.
those arms back and forth. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's going to close the book for now. Of course, we'll come back, talk a little bit more about the homecoming win, 23-21 over UTRGV. Going to get another break in when we come back, ready for a conference road game in Natchitoches, Louisiana, with the Pete Rossomando Show on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI, Harold Mann, along with Coach Pete Rossomando, talking Lamar University football. The Cardinals ranked number 15 this week in the FCS stats poll as they continue to climb up following that win. Heading to Natchitoches, Louisiana, taking on Northwestern State.
Home of the meat pie.
Home of the meat pies. Let's see, softball over there? Yeah. When you were at Northwestern State, did you like the meat pies?
Oh, they loved them?
Yeah, they did. They gave me a thumbs up. And
I haven't had one.
Well, we'll have to hook you up.
I go there to work. I don't go there to eat.
Oh, come on now. Got to test something out. Northwestern State, they're down. They won their first ball game of the year, 20-10 over Alcorn State. They've dropped 6 in a row. They're 0-3 in conference play, but not on records. I don't want,
that doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean a thing.
Trust me, it means nothing.
You still got to go
in the weather we're going to be playing. So.
Yeah, I got to go out and play 60 minutes of football.
You do.
On Saturday.
Yep.
Talk about them a little bit offensively. What will they show you?
Well, they got a really athletic quarterback, and he makes a lot of things happen. We talk a lot about the second play. Like you start the play, and then he breaks out of the pocket. It becomes a second play, and he's as good as anybody in our conference on the second play. And so we got to do a really good job of keeping him in the pocket, making sure that we obviously have a check on him and a guy that's gonna in the drop back game that's gonna spy him and make sure he doesn't get out there and create big plays with his legs and with his arm as he scrambles. So we got to do a good job of that. And then, they play very similar to us. They're 2 tight ends. They like to run the football. They're good at certain schemes. I think they're, obviously extremely well coached. Blaine and I are friends, and he's he's an O-line guy just like I am. And, he's going to build it from the inside out. So, the first improvement they've made is on the offense and defensive lines. And I think that's where they've made a huge improvement from a year ago to now.
Running back is a guy by the name of Mylan Hicks, 5'11", 210-pound grad student, number 0. What kind of runner is he?
Pounder.
Does he run right at you?
Oh, yeah. He's, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to pound the football. They want to run power. They want to run counter. And he fits that build. I think that's why he's in there. And he catches the ball well out of the backfield. He's similar to the Chambers kid that we played at Central Arc. Not quite maybe as fast as that guy is, but he's definitely that kind of physical.
You mentioned double tight end. Looks like they also line up with a fullback at times.
Yeah, those guys play H tight end, fullback. They're both guys are really good blockers and they're dynamic catching the football. So, we got to make sure we do a good job keeping an eye on them in the drop back game and the play action game.
Looks like they alternate in quite a bit, different receivers.
They do. Yeah, they do.
What are we looking at on the receiving core?
They're young but talented. They can run. Again, young. They haven't played a lot of football yet. They got one guy, number 16, who's a grad guy, and he's been around a while, and he's a really good receiver. And he does some things with the ball in the air that is pretty impressive. And we got to do a good job, as we didn't do against UCA and playing the ball in the air. We got to get better at that and make sure we do a good job.
Again, that's a 4 o'clock scheduled kickoff. Mother Nature could be an issue, and just hope it's not going to be a long night.
She's going to smack us all around a little bit, Mother Nature. So we got to be ready for that.
Just hope.
I just hope there's no lightning.
I was going to say that L word we don't like. We like the L word for Lamar.
Yeah.
We don't like the L word for lightning.
That's right.
In case we run into something like a lightning delay. The way that works, if there's a lightning strike, you wait 30 minutes. Yeah. If there's another lightning strike within that 30-minute window, the clock starts over.
Yeah.
So I know we've had some.
So it's a 40-minute. It's going to be a 40-minute block
minimum.
Because then you got to warm up. You're off 30 minutes. You got to go back out and warm up. So they're going to give you a 10-minute time to get warmed up. So you're talking about a 40-minute block. I was looking at SFA 2 weeks ago, and they didn't finish their game, or maybe it was even this past week. They didn't finish their game till 1:30 in the morning. So that's with a couple of lightning delays. So we hopefully that doesn't happen. But
unfortunately, we've had a couple of those here since they brought football back with A&M and U of H. Or A&M we rolled in at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we haven't had any since I've been here. Knock on wood. Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably get one now that I said that this weekend.
We don't know. So if we do, we're going to blame it on Coach Rossomando.
Yeah, they blame everything on me anyway, so I could take it.
All right, we talked about their offense. Averaging just over 10 points a game. Defensively, what are they going to show us? What do they show you up front and linebackers, secondary?
They're pretty versatile, is what they do on defense. They play some 3 down front. They play some 4 down front. They have a kid from Coastal Carolina, number 13, playing defensive end. That's a really, really good pass rusher, and we got to make sure that we keep our eyes on him, and we chip him and get a back over there and help out and make sure we keep that guy off balance a little bit, and so he doesn't keep getting after our quarterback. They're really long and rangy in the secondary. They got tall guys, 6'2", 6'3", all across the board, and those guys are really active in the run game. So we got to do a good job of making sure we put bodies on them from a receiver standpoint when we do run the football, and then when we have a chance to throw it, we got to make sure that we create some separation because, again, they are long and they're going to get in throw windows if we don't do a good job of separating.
And regardless of a record, it is a road conference game, and those are never easy.
No, I mean, listen, here's what I would say. These guys, they're getting ready to beat our butt. I promise you that right now. They're getting ready to beat our butt, and we better be ready or else they're going to do it. So, because everyone in our conference is recruiting, they're developing players, and they have good schemes. And we got really good coaches in our conference, and Blaine and his staff, they do a fantastic job of getting those guys ready to play each and every week and competing each and every week.
Again, that's scheduled 4 o'clock kickoff at the Turpin Stadium in Natchitoches. Of course, you're familiar with that. So
we were there last year.
Exactly. We're
we got to go back.
Got to go, and that's the way that worked out. For instance, Nichols, UIW, you can go back there. As they brought in UTRGV, and that kind of messed up the sequence.
Well, the way I see it is growth is unbelievable, and our leader is amazing. Chris Grant is awesome, and I'm not saying anything that he couldn't do anything with this, but you hate to see the guys that have been in the conference, suffer because we get a new team. Not that we're suffering or anything like that, but you got to go. We got to go to UIW twice. You got to go to you got to go to Natchitoches twice. You got to go to East Texas twice, and then they schedule a 6 o'clock game.
Yeah,
you're not getting home till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Especially Commerce.
That's not good for student-athlete welfare. I know. Trust me. I know that NIL days. No one cares about that anymore. It's not about student-athlete welfare. But man, how about old coach welfare? I mean, shoot, I got to be in that bus for 5.5 hours.
Well, can you catch a nap on the bus?
No, I can't sleep on I can't sleep on planes, trains, or buses. No,
trains, and automobiles.
Can't sleep. No, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I remember coming back from Central Arkansas a few years ago on the bus. I fell asleep when we hit Lumberton.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
I mean, I like the earlier kickoffs. I know you do, but
I do.
We'll see a 4 o'clock kickoff coming up on Saturday with the Cardinals and Northwestern State. Got to get another break in as we are coming your way from the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center on the campus of Lamar. We're talking Lamar University football. Is the Pete Rossomando Show on News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann back out here at the patio, and rejoining me is Coach Pete Rossomando.
Yeah, I made it back. I'm here.
Over there.
I'm here. I was talking to the greatest softball coaches in the country. So.
There you go. Are you better educated on softball now?
I've always been educated. They take care of me.
Yeah.
They're actually educating me on football. So they're football people now.
Yeah.
They are. They're football people.
So you get coaching advice from the flight deck. You get coaching advice from the softball team.
They don't give us. They're not here to offer advice. They're here to offer support.
There you go.
So and we do the same.
And Coach Amy and her staff.
They're amazing.
Y'all do a great job. So supporting Lamar football again. Northwestern State is the opponent on Saturday. I got to ask you the QB situation.
Yeah.
Of course, Rob was the starter, and then he gets knocked out. Aiden comes in.
Yeah.
Aiden went out late in that ball game.
He did.
And Rob came in and actually took the team down to set up for the game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
What's the status on the QB situation?
Well, Rob's fully cleared. This is his first full week of practice, so he's going to be ready to start this week. That was always the plan, and we're going to move forward with that. And I mean, Aiden could have went back in the game at that point, but it was best to keep him out. He was evaluated for a head injury, and he was fine, but obviously we didn't want to put him back out there at that point. He had taken a couple pretty good hits.
And he comes in at the end of that South Dakota game, does a good job, and he got you rolling. He kept his team. A lot of times, a backup comes in, you're kind of concerned what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was concerned.
He got the job. He got the job done.
If you weren't concerned, then you're crazy. But no, it was obviously he's got a great pedigree. He comes from a amazing family. His dad's was an NFL player, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a great player.
Right.
And I think Aiden came in and worked his tail off to get ready, and he wasn't quite ready when we first put him in there, but he worked so hard and was so dedicated to his craft and he was unflappable really out there. He went through some tough times, but you know what? You'd never know it. And I think the team rallied around him, which always helped. I think you have two really good guys who supported each other, and Rob supported them the whole time and helped them. And even this past week when Rob was clear, but he didn't get a full week, Rob was out there supporting them. And I love that about that quarterback room. It's really a special group of guys with, Julian Salazar and Lucas Powell and those two guys and Ty Brunson. I mean, great group of kids, man. I'm with those guys every day, man. I love being around them, and fun group and really super talented.
What I liked about Rob, and I noticed this at the East Texas A&M game, he was actually in uniform. Every time out, every time before the offense went out there, he's in that group with you guys before the starters went on the field, encouraging, while your defense is on the field. Look down there. He's over by Aiden, talking to Aiden. He wanted, even though he knew he wasn't going to get out there, he still wanted to be part of that game. And, he's all about being a teammate.
Well, you never know. You may see both of them on the field at the same time. Wink, wink.
Boy, a little insider there, but no, that's really good. And that's what I like. And we talked about the depth. And then that's, over the past years with the Cardinals, it's, might have been an issue with depth. And you and your coaching staff put together a really good football team. From your two deep from top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if many people know this, but there are four guys out in season-ending injuries that we thought were going to be, either starters or big-time players for us. And so, not only are we replacing guys each week with injuries, but, I mean, we got four guys out for the season that, we thought were really going to take significant snaps for us.
Now, are any of them upperclassmen, and can they get a medical and come back next year?
Well, all of them have another year.
Okay.
So you got Jameer Muhammad, you got, Coda Kennedy, who was, and, Alex Dedew. So you got some guys that man really are, I mean, they're incredible ball players. Denham Aribo, offensive lineman, like those guys were all going to be factors in what we do.
And for a backup, they're always one snap away from having to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, we say it a lot. I'm not sure they all believe it, but it's true. I mean, you got to be ready to go. I mean, there's an old statement that says you better stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And, we have some guys that have been ready when their number was called and stepped up and have played really, really well. Jaden Gerard being one of them, a receiver from Wake Forest. I mean, he wasn't a starter at the beginning of the season, and, man, he had an opportunity. Britt Simmons goes down, and you got an opportunity for that guy to go out there and play, and he's played well.
Looking ahead, I know you take them one at a time, but at Northwestern State, then you got to be road warriors with a couple games coming up down the road as well.
Well, this one, and then we go to UIW next week.
Right,
and,
we're back home.
So, I mean, we got to take them 1 week at a time, but to me, it's all like they're individual weeks.
Yeah.
There's no, we're on the road for 2 weeks. I don't even think about that. We just got to get this one ready, We got to get on the road and play this one. We'll drive back. We'll reset. We'll get ready Sunday for the next one.
All right, we got to get our final break in here at News Talk 560, talking Lamar University football out at the patio here at the Sheila Humphrey Rec Center. We're back with Coach Pete Rossomando on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI. Harold Mann along with Lamar football coach Pete Rossomando, our weekly Wednesday radio show out here at the patio. Also part of the Big Red Sports Network. You catch him online as well as part of our weekly coaches shows. We get set to see the Cardinals head to Natchitoches, Louisiana. Let's take a look here real quick at the Southland Conference standings going into this weekend. Look who's sitting on top. Lamar, Cardinals 3-0, which also has Southeastern Louisiana and SFA at 3-0. A&M, East Texas A&M 2-1. UTRGV, along with Houston Christian, McNeese, and Nichols 1-2. While UIW and Northwestern State at the bottom, looking up at still looking for their first win. That's what kind of is scary when you're going into a team like Northwestern State and Natchitoches. They're hungry. They're looking for their first conference win after dropping 6 overall in a row.
Yeah, no, they are for sure. I mean, I don't get scared. I just,
right.
You want to be prepared. That's the most important thing. You got to be prepared for these games because they are conference games. And again, if you want to have any shot at having your name mentioned at the end of the year for something, then you better win every game because there is no room right now for. We're the only one of the top 3 teams right now that are that play each other.
Right.
Because SELA and SFA, they don't play each other. So we play both of those teams. And I think that's obviously for us, man, we gotta just keep winning and keep putting good performances together. We have not played our best game yet. I'm working hard to get our guys to play their best game overall in all 3 phases. And I think when we could start to put those things together, you're going to see a way, way different Lamar team, way better team than even we've been playing so far.
Yeah, I get 60 minutes of football.
Yeah, I mean, not 30. And, I think we played closer on defense to 60 minutes, closer on special teams. But, offense, we still, we only played really two and a half quarters. We sputtered in the third and half of the fourth. So we got to really do a better job of turning it up on offense.
I know you don't play a whole lot into this, but it is nice when you look at it to see national rankings coming out and seeing Lamar on there in the FCS stats performance, FCS top 25 this week. Lamar is number 15, up from 17, leading the way North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Tarleton State, Montana, and Montana State. Those are your top 5. But it is really cool to look on there and see Lamar. It's something that's been missing for a long time.
Well, I mean, it's great for our alums. They're proud. Our alums are proud to be Lamar Cardinals, and and our community. They got something to get behind. But for us, those rankings don't mean anything right now. You win your conference, you go to the playoffs, you have a chance for a second season. That's the focus right now. And the only way you can win your conference is to continue to win conference games, and that's really what we have to focus on right now. But for our university, for Dr. Taylor, for our unbelievable athletic director Jeff O'Malley, those guys, it's validation for what they put in and into the program and what they put into our athletics program, because every sport's winning. All sports are winning right now, and it doesn't just happen that way because somebody says, "Hey, we want to win." They put resources behind it. They put effort behind it. They put good people in the same room. Like, we got an incredible group of head coaches here, and they really do a great job of supporting each other. And really that's really what it's all about. And that's how you win big, not just like winning in one sport. Hey, it'd be great to win in basketball every year. But if every other sport stinks, then what does that do for your university? Nothing. So we want to make sure that we know that we got incredible coaching staff here. We got great support, great leadership, and it's just a fun place to be around right now. It really, when we bring recruits here now, and when we brought them here 3 years ago, it just wasn't what it wasn't even close to what my expectations were. And now we're getting closer because the energy is so different. And you've been here all these years. the energy is way different right now, and you got so many people pulling the oar in the same direction. It's a lot of fun.
This next comment's only going to mean I'm old, but I've been here 32 of the last 34 years covering Lamar sports. From 01 to 03, I kind of ran away a little bit. But no. That's not about me. It's about what I'm getting ready to say. In that time span, this is the best atmosphere I've seen around Lamar University. And this goes back to 1991.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, like I said, when everyone is moving in the same direction, it makes things so much more fun.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. There's really no animosity at all between any sports. We have a great athletic training staff. Our performance, strength and conditioning staff is great. I mean, everyone is really, truly working together to make this the best place in Texas, the best place in the country, a destination place to play sports, a destination place to go to school. I mean, really, obviously it's Beaumont, Texas, right? Come on down.
Come on.
Southeast Texas. Get some crawfish. Get some boudin. Let's have some fun.
And, you know, you talk about your strength and conditioning, and a lot of times you hear weight room. It's just football. It's not. I mean, I stop by the field house weekly, and you see athletes from other sports in there, and it starts, and it's not just during your season. Our student athletes are trained year round.
Year round. Oh yeah. There's no such thing as off time right now. I mean, you know, they're always training, whether they're off season training, in season training, recovery, whatever. They're always training to try to get better and make their bodies better and be healthy. And I think that's awesome. That's great for what we do. I think redoing our performance center in the Dauphine Center has been changing for everybody. It's really been something that has aided and helped every sport.
Now, during the season itself, how often do you hit the weight room for football?
It depends. Some guys are 2 days a week. Some guys are 4 days a week. Some guys are 3 days a week. It really just depends on what level you are, how many snaps you're playing, because we're still in a developmental stage for some of our younger guys, you know.
I'm all about Hershey bars and potato chips and things like that. I've been off soft drinks for 11 years, but I'm all about the snacks. Do you watch what they eat? Are some of them on a certain diet, or they can't go get the Big Mac or whatever have you?
I mean, we're trying to educate them. We do have a registered dietitian, and Eric, and he's awesome, and he gives our guys the information they need. But the bottom line is they have to make the good decisions when they're not around us. We only see them for 4 hours a day, and then what do they do for the other 20 is really on them. And you hope that the education helps and carries over, and that they see a difference in how they feel when they do eat correctly. And, we do cooking classes, we do nutritional seminars, we do, plate building, all kinds of stuff to help those guys get better and recover better.
Now, cooking classes, I'm going to take a weird angle to this. Are any of your players cooks?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them, yeah. Christian Booker's big cook. Knox Boyd makes Texas spaghetti. He loves it. Oh, cowboy spaghetti.
Spaghetti. I bet the cowboy spaghetti is horrible. So why don't you have him make me some so I could test it?
He usually probably doesn't make it in the next day.
It's gone.
With Big Knox, yeah.
I tell you what, we got about a couple minutes left. Cardinals try to keep it rolling Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock kickoff in Natchitoches up there at Turpin Stadium. Against Northwestern State. Just talk about the preparation going into Saturday, especially when we don't know about the weather conditions.
Oh, we know the weather conditions.
Well, we know it, but
we know it's going to be wet. It's going to be wet. But no, I would say right now, we got practice tomorrow morning, big day, Thursday, and then we move on to Friday, which is our walkthrough day, our travel day, and then we have a 3-hour trip up there to Alexandria. We stay up there, and then it's another about 45 minutes to an hour from there to Natchitoches on Saturday. So we're in what do you call it? We're in preparation mode.
Preparation mode. Yeah. Speaking of preparation mode, your equipment managers. Are we going to see different types of shoes? You going to have rain gear?
Well, we better have rain gear.
You got helmets on. You're not going to rain on your head.
Me? I'm talking about me. I need rain gear.
Okay, so.
I said I used to coach from the booth. That was the best place to coach. Now I got to be on the sideline as the head coach. So, no, Well, our equipment staff is amazing. They'll have all the things our guys need to have a great game. Extra socks, extra undershirts, extra pairs of cleats, extra gloves, anything they need to make themselves play better and be prepared for the weather, they'll have ready. We got tents, we got everything, so we're ready to go.
All right, Coach, another week behind us, another week ahead of us. Let's go up to Natchitoches, keep it rolling. Let's get a win over Northwestern State.
Don't forget about my buddy Nick.
Oh, Nick
Costa.
out, Nick out in New Jersey, buddy. Thanks for tuning in as always.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you, buddy.
Coach will call you on his way home.
I will.
All right. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Again, we're back here next Wednesday. If you can't make it over to Natchitoches, we have it for you here on News Talk 560 KLVI. For Coach, I'm Harold. Good night, everyone.